Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Zwift Community Live broadcast of the KISS Europe race today. The race today will be one lap of the Watopia figure 8, 18.4 miles, 29.6 kilometers, and riders have gotten out on course right away. We will be featuring the women's only race as well as the men's A race today. We do have the women out on course. They are about 6:43 into their racing right now. They're just heading on over to the out of Ocean Boulevard right now. Actually, as you can see, they're heading past the windmills here. The Watopia figure 8 course does head up the reverse Watopia climb as well as the forward Watopia climb is the two main feature points, highlight points out on course that you need to be watching out for the main breaks. In the lead group right now, it does look like we do have M. Wilkinson. She was actually a part of the, I believe, lead group in the race last week. A large contingent of both men, of A, B, C, and D category. Women all hanging out amongst the front end of this group right now. Super cool to see, actually. Now, they all start together between each other for the women's categories. Actually, in the men's race, it does look like they started separately with a staggered start between the categories. So if you are just jumping into racing for the first time, or you're looking to upgrade perhaps the ability to see the women who are around you and what kind of ability they are pushing you toward, whether or not you're able to hang out with the B's or the C's or the D category riders, able to hang out with anybody above them. It's a really great feature, actually, with the KISS racers to be able to jump in with them and be able to at least judge whether or not you've got a little bit more in the legs in order to hang on with the front ends of the group. With the A category, it looks Gruppo Compacto. That's definitely, with the A category with the men, it's definitely Gruppo Compacto right now as they're heading through Ocean Boulevard. I'm currently looking at Mr. Tim Cartwright right here from the KISS Racing team. Up toward the front, it looks like here he is making his way into a good position before they hit that little 3% gradient out of the underground Ocean Boulevard. About 29 seconds back, you are seeing B. Hansen there, a few others that might have dropped off the pace there. And you do see that the B category did just get out on course. We should be able to cover a little bit of their racing as they make their way around the course, or at least into the finishing line sprint there. So we may see a few drop off as they make their way out of the underground here, but that'll be the initial kick of those who are unable to hang on at all. But the main place of interest is going to be the reverse Watopia climb. Brett Boniface, winner yesterday of the SCR Racing Series race number 4 yesterday. So he's actually going off the front, looking to get a lot of Zwift racing in, it looks like. Cartwright's there as well, following up. That's to be expected. I have a feeling we're going to see these two on the front of this race an awful lot today. Innovation Cyclins is out there today as well, being represented by Gavin Arbor here, it looks like, here in the Alienware kit that they do use. Team Poland there with Szerzynski. Looks like Burton from the TFC able to make this group as well. Then the BRT, let's not leave Bolt Racing Team out hanging out in the Power Tap kit that they do use. MD is also there from the BRT team. Looking through for a few more of the teams, it is the KRT team following up their teammate Tim Cartwright as they make their way through the dust there. And I did see, it looks like HPP is out there. Unfamiliar with HPP. 163 beats per minute coming out of Canada. Dempsey here, actually, riding for HPP. Dempsey, you're going to have to let me know what this new team is that you're showing off here right now. Interesting to see. We do have, it looks like, coming in from Glasgow, actually. Very cool to see. Jonathan Noblet, our productions manager on site over there, is tuning in with us. Give us 1 second here, Johnny. I'm going to get your audio coming through. It is, now just a warning, everybody, it is loud at the Glasgow event, but it's really cool. I'm going to give you guys a quick little idea of what we're looking at here. The Zwift UK Tour tonight event is in Dales Cycles, Glasgow, Scotland. Actually, it's the 4th event on the Zwift UK Tour, Zwift Wahoo UK 2017 Tour. And they are doing the Forward Watopia Hill Climb. There's actually a whole bunch of awards that are being given away and prizes on site. Spot prizes on the night. And each of the fastest male and female will win some awesome prizes. And overall UK Tour with the fastest times will be awarded a Kicker Pain Cave bundle, Kicker 17, Kicker Desk and Mat, male and female each. Actually, you can actually head on over to the Eventbrite. Actually, I have it right here. Give me 1 second. I'll go ahead and bring in this desktop here, and you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about, because these are the events that are coming up. Right now, they are in Glasgow. You can head on over there tonight. Yet still, well, it's kind of winding out for them, I'm told, but you may be able to catch them just barely. Then they will be heading to Bristol, Tunbridge Wells, as well as London. So Eventbrite is being shared up by Zwift. If you want to head on over to the UK Tour, check those out. Let's go ahead and see what's going on site with Mr. Jonathan Noblet here. I'm going to have to bring in his audio here, but there is the live scene. Johnny, can you hear me? Are you good? Maybe Johnny can't hear me. It looks like they are doing... Oh, there he is. It sounds like it's pretty loud there, Johnny.
Oh, it is absolutely so loud. We've got the great Chris, who's coming to some DJing here. We've got Mr. Jasper Anker from Denmark, who's coming on the commentary on these riders here. And right now, we've actually got the staff from Dale Cycles over here in Glasgow, who are actually out on the bikes, saying some times themselves. It's got some good times coming to sub 2 minutes at the moment. But yeah, it's a great night. This is the 4th event of the UK Tour so far. There's a few community favourites out here. We've actually got Tam Burns from Team TFC, who's actually over here joining us today as well. And we've also got Simon Russell from the KISS race team as well, who set the fastest time so far of
Simon Russell
of the 40
representing.
Simon Russell, he has actually got the. I can just see him there. He's just currently got his bibs and a t-shirt on, so I don't want to focus just on his cycling bibs. That's be a bit weird. But yeah, he's in there representing the KISS race team kit on, which looks just like it does in game actually. So it's really amazing. But yeah, I heard you saying that there's some more events coming up next week in Bristol, Tunbridge Wells, and also in London at Sigma Sports. So if anyone wants to try out Zwift, we've got an experience station with Wahoo Kicker going on as well. So if you don't want to quite go up the King of the Mountains climb, you can also have a little go on it as well. So yeah, being very popular tonight, and it's great to see a lot of potentially new community members out here as well, who are all really keen to get in indoor cycling in for the winter.
Awesome. Thanks, Johnny. Great report there coming from the event over in Glasgow. We're going to get back to the racing, as the KISS racing team is also trying to take the reverse KOM, it looks like, right now. But there they are taking the forward KOM as well. So they're actually on the same course as these racers are. So there is Johnny Noblet over in Glasgow. Thanks a lot for bringing us that report from the event. Sounds like quite the party over there. But now up at the front of the race, actually in the women's category, we are seeing Wilkinson here right along with Bono trying to chase her down, but Wilkinson off the front completely in this A category for the women, currently sitting in first place. There are 2 other women chasing her down. It looks like Santa Maria, as well as maybe one more off the back, actually. So, but then it will be Bono here, 38 seconds back here. But then in the men's race, speaking of the KISS racing team, Tim Cartwright there actually attacking with Brett Boniface here, about halfway up to top of the reverse KOM, the opposite side that those participants over in Glasgow are currently doing right now. Actually, in this live environment, we have a virtual race going up the reverse Watopia climb and a virtual slash live race for the KOMs going up the forward over in Glasgow. Very cool to have the live shots there coming in right now. For the interaction here, I am seeing some at Z Community Live interaction actually coming through over on Twitter. If you would like to jump into the broadcast with your pictures, comments, or questions, you can go ahead and do so by commenting over at the Facebook, actually. And actually, I'm seeing a ton of comments coming around in. Megan Portis saying, this is insane. I love it. Good to see you there, Megan. Thanks a lot for jumping into the broadcast. What does KISS stand for? That is an absolutely great question, actually, Megan. Good to have you and tuning in and bringing those questions. Keep it simple, stupid is actually what that stands for. Early on in the racing, there was a lot of discussion about how should we do these rules before we had event modules, before we had the ability to call power-ups from the events and the races. So it was all about just allowing everybody to use anything that's in-game. Go ahead and do so to your advantage because everybody has the same opportunity toward the things that are in game. So as you can see, Brett Boniface right now using that power up early on in the racing, people would be trying to spot people using power ups because we were unable to tell whether or not they were doing so. We were able to track it. We were unable to call the power ups from the riders and their ability to get them through an event. And so Glenn Knight and a few others from the KISS racing team and the KISS organization just said, before it was KISS, said, let's just name a series KISS, keep it simple, stupid. And that's what it stood for early on. And it still does. So, we are seeing Antoine Hamed saying, when mountain race for KISS Europe and SCR Autumn will be in the schedule, Nathan? I wish I could tell you. Maybe we will bring in a few of the organizers for the weekly windup on Monday and try and answer that question. That's a great question. And maybe push that at us on Monday. I'll try and have that information for you guys. I'll actually make a little mental note of that, and we'll try and give you maybe a course schedule coming up for the races that we do cover. So Mark Hagan is what we need to be racing in over the race in the winter, Riss is saying. Good to see that. Hi, Nathan. Hope you're well, Joe Tilly Walker. Long time no see. Great broadcast as usual. Great work. Go Yankees. Good to see you there. Joe Tilly Walker's in the house. Thanks a lot for tuning in, Joe. As always, looks like all the Zwifters are coming out for the Zwift season. And really appreciate, I do see a couple of the community members also interacting over there and answering some of the questions. Appreciate all you guys very much. Again, if you do want to interact with the broadcast, go ahead and tweet at Z Community Live, at Z Community Live, or go ahead and post a comment or question in the Zwift Facebook post. Good to see all the people hanging out over at Twitch as well as Mixer. I will try and keep an eye as best as I can over at those places as well for your comments. It does look like a solid 27-second gap, actually. Being a shorter race, this is the way to do it for Brett as well as Tim Cartwright here. These two off the front being the juggernauts, that's for sure. I'm not sure they're going to be caught again here. As you can see, 26 seconds is a huge gap, but at the same time, the group does travel fairly fast. It doesn't have to work quite as hard as just two off the front. So Burton here now 5.7 watts per kilogram, but with these two off the front working together, if they're going to be putting out 6+ on the front end, well, they're seeing steady now 5.0+. If they do put out 6.0+ on the front of this group, they will bring them back slowly but surely, but there's not a whole lot of landscape left to work with. About 10 miles to go or so. They did the reverse Watopia. Gavin Arbor here with a little bit of encouragement. Keep working. We can bring them back in. At the same time, I think it's going to be a difficult day even to bring them back in. Innovation's got a lot of riders, though in and amongst the group here, though. So we're going to have to see if they do sacrifice a few on the front here. We do see TFC now with two riders here starting to make their way to the front and start to put in a little bit of work. BRT's got some riders in there as well, but I'm not sure that they're willing to make their way to the front. It is going to be Burton then at the front, hammering away with a solid, it looks like, I'm saying 6.0 watts per kilogram as they head into the Essies. right now. Back in with the women's category now. We do see 53 seconds off the front, actually. It will be Wilkinson actually still just dominating this A category race. I do have the current situation for the women. She's put out a solid 4.0 watts per kilogram for the duration of the race so far. M. Wilkinson coming out of Great Britain here. Let's go ahead and see what her past racing is out on Zwift. One race in the past, actually, looks like, out of the United Kingdom here. She's got that ZA badge actually on. It looks like she did the KISS Pacific race actually back on October 11th. So it looks like this is mainly racing for the Zwift Academy actually. So good to see her out there with a 9th place actually in the last race that she has done. And it looks like Mary Wilkinson throwing down some solid racing, just walking away from the rest of the A category. But now in the rest of the race here, we are seeing the B and the C all kind of mixed together. QT Cat, the vegan, out of Canada, actually. Looks like she's got a 16th place in the KISS race, Europe race on the October 5th. She's a little ways back, but hanging in amongst the chase group right now. Looks like right along with Lan Karik there coming out of Sweden. Solid chase group of about, it looks like 6 or so. Now trying to bring Wilkinson back in the fold. Not sure that's going to happen. They've averaged, though, it looks like Cutie Cats, she's got about, it looks like 3.6 watts per kilogram, and it will be T. Bonnell as well there with a solid 3.4, but both of them into the B category right now. Taylor Bono, actually, that Strava profile, pretty awesome. If you guys haven't checked this out, she's actually, if that's a real, is that a real picture? I can see her at a skate park in the Strava profile, actually doing a full-on like ollie over some sort of an obstacle. It's got an estimated FTP of 228. She did the WBR one flat lap race actually back on October 10th with the 7th place in the B category, but then went ahead and jumped into the C. No, she's in the C's today. So definitely check your categories before you jump into the races so that there are correct category to be in on the day, because we are seeing a lot of red numbers. Let's go ahead and show you guys exactly what I'm talking about here with the red numbers over category limits. This is usually a question that comes up a lot of times post race. So here is the women's current live situation for the categories. We are seeing F. Kessels here right now in the B category, P. Mason, Cutie Cats there, as well as T. Bonnell. Both of them entered the C category race, but as you can see here, for their 20-minute power over where my cursor is, you move on down, you can see it's over category limit, because the categories for the B category is supposed to be 3.2 to 4.0 watts per kilogram. So being over category limit there, need to upgrade then to the B categories. You can see here, Lan Karik here in a 3.4 without the red, because she is in the category limit. So we've got quite a few that are jumping into the C's, it looks like. Maybe because that's the one with the most riders in it. So there were, it looked like about 40 women, maybe even 50 that showed up. Somewhere between 40 and 50 women that showed up for the races in total today, though. So that's the current situation for the women. Wilkinson leading it out at 14.7 km in total with this chase group. About a solid, can't actually see any longer how far behind it at this point. I think it's a solid minute 6 at the last checkpoint right now as they make their way back into Ocean Boulevard. We'll get back to them for the sprint finish in just a minute, but the men here still trying to make that chase to the front runners right now. Cartwright now dropping off Boniface, it looks like. Actually, no, Boniface with a counter as they come around into Ocean Boulevard right now. 31 seconds is the gap. Not sure they're going to see them again because the attacks from the boys off the front are consistent. And in the men's race right now, these two super aggressive, and it's because it is a much shorter race than usual today with the men's race. You know, with only about 18 miles total to work with, it's going to be a all out from the gun. It's about 35 minutes or total of racing, or so 36 minutes of racing. So it's a full-on cyclocross type effort, all out from the gun. What do you got? Break them, and there is no reprieve, and they can hold on to a solid effort like this. We're seeing a 5.3 watts per kilogram total for 20 minutes coming coming from Cartwright. Boniface into that 5.1. Cunningham now in the main chase group, sitting at about 5.0, and everything else behind them is somewhere between 4 and 5 right now. So crazy effort so far from these riders. Still up in that 171 beats per minute for Boniface right now. Cartwright there's 171 as well. Pinned the Cartwrights. What's going on with Cartwright in his past results? I know ODZ with Boniface. Boniface went from way out yesterday. Cartwright, this is a crazy profile over at ZwiftPower.com. 224 races out on Zwift. Zada approved, so it is approved with the wattage he's putting out. For those who might be new to racing, don't know who Tim Cartwright is amongst the real world racing as well as the racing in Zwift. He is a time trial specialist. He takes consistently at the elite level in the UK amongst the men, top 10s. I think it took maybe even a second, I believe it was, in the men's elite racing, I believe, for TTs. Solid efforts in the 18 minutes to 19 minutes or so for I believe it is on a 10-mile TT. It looks like he won the KISS AM actually on the 10th just a couple of years ago. These are all his results. Lots of wins and silvers. But Brett Boniface also having something to say about that. He is in there right now with Cartwright off the front. And they are attacking each other consistently with 46 seconds actually. I believe this is trying to break each other and not so concerned maybe about the chase. Well, they still have the forward Watopia climb though. So for the Watopia figure 8 that they are on today, these riders are going to go underneath Ocean Boulevard right now and then take a left-hand turn. They've already done the reverse Watopia climb. We're going to get to see what kind of time they can throw down for the forward right now. Whether or not they can take that away. What? 319, boys and girls. 319 on the reverse Watopia climb. This is absolute insanity kind of times right now that these boys are throwing down. Brett Boniface, Tim Cartwright showing themselves to be at a whole nother level off the front in the race today. Innovation here with Gavin Richardson as well as Gavin Arbor in there right now, both out of the UK riding for Innovation Cycles. And then we are seeing Burton here from the TFC. Looks like there's one other Innovation boy in there. Will be Giljam here, about 59 seconds back actually. Looks like the chase from these riders has been so intense that it's actually caused another split in the group here. I'm looking for who the other Innovation boy is though in and amongst this front runners now. I'm looking through and I am seeing it will be Pete Phone actually out of Switzerland making the chase alongside of the G&G Gavin Arbor and Gavin Richardson and P. Steiner actually Peter Phone riding for Steiner Colnago actually out of Switzerland, one of the elite teams there, domestic teams actually over in Switzerland, looking to maybe be launched off the front of this group and make the bridge up to those two up front. It's going to be a difficult day to do so though. Not sure they can make up 48 seconds on the forward Watopia climb, but if they work together and they can get enough Innovation boys over the top of the climb together, and if they can kick a little harder than these boys who have been burning some matches off the front to try and hold on to this gap, they may be able to use some team tactics and pull them back in and then have more energy for a sprint and set things up. But it's going to have to be a strong Innovation train or BRT train to try and bring that back, I think, today with these juggernauts off the front right now. Let's go ahead and check our social media integration. I'm assuming we're going to have quite a few coming on through here. And yeah, we definitely do. And Ian Anderson saying, don't forget the mass starts as the KISS Zwift race's signature. Way easier than herding cats for the old neutral starts. Ian Anderson's opinion coming through there on what is awesome about the KISS races. And it's definitely to preference for what you enjoy. SCR races have a mass start race, which is pretty cool for seeing where you end up amongst all of the riders. but also the KISS races separate out the riders, but does lend to sandbagging a little bit more because the riders are unable to be pushed by trying to hang on to riders outside of your category. So both have their benefits. With the KISS races, you race just against those who are in your category for the watts per kilogram ranking system. And then in the SCR or a few other of the races that might use a mass start, that is good at separating out who belongs where amongst the racers, and also gives you an opportunity to try and jump into an A category by going with them and seeing if you can hang on with them, assuming the best about every individual using that going with them in the A, B, or C races, that they will upgrade then if they're able to hang on and get pushed above category limits here. So a couple more questions and comments coming in through here. Love seeing what you guys are doing with the community. Good to see you there, Inspired the Ride. Thanks a lot for coming into the broadcast. And we are seeing Dollar Fire and Dollar Fire with a comment here. Interesting comment. And I'm going to go ahead and push back a little bit. How is it possible to put out pro levels for 2 hours? ZT Hour and KISS should get a contract. Well, ODZ, Brett Boniface here, as well as Cartwright that we're looking at right now, actually are ZADA approved and have submitted strain gauge power meter files actually to show that they can race at the level that they do. And Brett does ride for a continental team over, or a domestic team over in Canada at the elite level, races up and down the coast. Cartwright, as we said earlier, TT specialist and does TTs at the elite level within the range of, I think it's 18 to 19 minutes for a 10-mile TT. So at the top tier, actually, amongst those riders. Not everybody, though, has the lifestyle to ride a pro contract and still has the ability, though, to jump into an environment like Zwift or their local races and throw down some killer power numbers, though. So the difference a lot of times between the top end UCI pros and the people that you see racing at the elite level with more of a weekend warrior, what can I do there but don't get a pro contract and get paid to race my bike, is the ability to go 5 hours and put out these kinds of numbers, because they can just put in 30 hours a week and are able to consistently build up that kind of endurance. And you put these guys into that kind of a race and they probably won't be able to hold down these pro peak numbers at the end of a race situation, though. And Matt Johnson with a prediction. Let's hear a prediction. Brett Boniface now kicking it right along with Tim Cartwright here with that feather power up that does lighten up his avatar by 1 watt per kilogram that he gains. And it looks like Cartwright now broken a little bit here by 1 second. And now it is Cunningham trying to chase it down, but it is 41 seconds, but he's trying to break the rest of them. 3 seconds, or excuse me, not 3 seconds, but looking for that third place out there today. Boniface here, able to get a 4-second gap over Cartwright. Cartwright, let's see if he can bring this back in. 41 meters now at this point. Looks like that feather power up was in his favor. Will Cartwright grab? Now, Cartwright, you can see him throwing down that drafting power up that he had. It doesn't help him a whole lot, actually. New PR here coming from Brett Boniface at a minute 30. Up and over the top of the forward Watopia climb. Now a new PR set for Cartwright there, 135. These boys are flying today, really getting pushed. Boniface having to rest now, kicking one more time, 178 beats per minute. Cartwright now, though, being the TT specialist as it is, this is where we're going to see him shine. I think he's going to put his head down and just go into that solid, steady mode. Well, 7.7 watts per kilogram here. Trying to get back on terms immediately. 104 back. It will be Cunningham now that we look at trying to break the rest of the group. Are they able to get away from? It does not look like. It looks like it's going to be Grupo Compacto up and over the top of the climb here. Cartwright almost back on terms with Boniface. Boniface being the lighter rider, trying to get away over the top of the climb. Going to be pulled back in by the wattage train that is Cartwright here, bringing him right back into the fold. Now it's going to come down to that sprint finish, but Boniface, will he counter? Immediately counters with 6 watts per kilogram. Cartwright, knowing that's going to come near, now up in that 175 again. Boniface, Cartwright again off the front, a minute 11 now between these riders. Now the women, though, are making their way to the line as well. I am seeing Wilkinson here up and over the top of the Queen of the Mountain, currently leading things out for the women's category. And it looks like Wilkinson and will be Lindqvist here, about 58 seconds back, actually, as they make their way through Ocean Boulevard, about to take a left-hand turn onto the forward Watopia climb. Will be Sanchez there as well, trying to hammer away from Bunag here, it looks like, as well as Santa Maria now trying to chase down a few others. Has been dropped off from the main group, actually. Will be at Botha now. Lankarik there. Bono now leading things out. Taylor Bono out of the US of A in that Radovas kit, almost breaking the rest of the B riders, but Santa Maria looks like, oh, that's actually a little ways back. Sorry about that, you guys. For some reason, we're still seeing riders, and that's because actually this is really, this part of the course, as you can see here, is near to that other part of the course that you can see on the mini map up at the top of the screen there. So we actually see a few of the riders that are not right next to this rider. But up ahead, we are seeing Wilkinson there. Lankarak not going to be able to bring her back into the fold. This is the race for second place right now, I believe, as I look 14 miles in total for Lankarak. Now trying to break Mason off the wheel. It looks like she's got a little bit of breathing movement. There's about 4 meters or so for the PTZ team out here. And Broly Alfonso probably screaming, go, go, go to Lankarak right now out of Sweden. P. Mason able to hang on there. Bono, Taylor Bono now making that group as well. Kessel's just barely able to grab back on the wheel perhaps here out of the Netherlands, but it will be Cutie Cat here, Vegan out of Canada, falling off the pace here at 180 beats per minute. And it looks like it will be about 13 seconds she's got to bring back if she's going to be in and amongst this group for the sprint. Sets it at about 3.0 watts per kilogram, 180 beats per minute, trying to bring it back in to the fold here. Now P. Mason here, 3.9 on the front, knowing that the break has been made, maybe not wanting Cutie Cat to be in and amongst the sprint right now as she does some work on the front end of this race now. Now getting back in with the men's races that make their way into the SEs. Are there going to be any attacks as they come around the corners here? It does not look like anything happening. Grupo Compacto at this point. And whatever happened to all the original racers, Nathan? Casey Shum, Frankie Garcia, have they out? No, actually, Joe Tilly Walker. That's a great question. They are definitely still racing. Just so you know, yesterday we actually saw Kim Little as well as Casey Shum as a part of Team Experimental racing in the SCR Racing Series. Actually, Kim Little is the current series leader for the SCR Racing Series. Brett Boniface hunting him down, though, with a couple of wins in the last 2 weeks. So, yes, there's definitely still racing going on. I think the only retiree from Zwift Racing is me because I sit here and chat about it. We'll try and get some KISS 100s in. We did the workout Wednesday yesterday, though, with Greg Henderson. It's absolutely awesome. That's getting Nathan on the bike at least. But if you want to jump into some workout Wednesdays, make sure to be on the lookout for them. It was part of the launch of the new group workout mode. For those of you who don't know, workout mode exists in game, right? You have the ability to load a workout with a ZWO file, and then or use some of the preloaded ones from Zwift and go ahead and solo workout, right? And you have a certain screen that tells you to do things. Well, group workout mode in beta has been launched in beta, and you need to look out for it on the Zwift mobile link, or look out for it on the when you log in on the right hand side for the events. It'll say Zwift group workout. It'll be an E that you can click on for everybody, and it actually keeps everybody together for the same effort in game, actually, for the pre-designed workout. We actually did lead out simulation yesterday, and we were Anjay Greipel was the idea, trying to follow the wheels of Greg Henderson, Adam Hansen, and you know, it was really great, actually. And Greg walked us through all of the lead out simulation workouts that they would do actually at that TDF level, not the TDF level type wattages, but definitely a great workout that we got. I was feeling it today a little bit. You can actually watch the replay of that over at our YouTube or at our Twitch or Mixer. There are past broadcasts there. All right, we do see Boniface now kicking, as you can see here, 8 watts per kilogram, 179 beats per minute. One last little uphill grade to try and get rid of Cartwright. Not sure he's going to want to sprint against the man. Now Cartwright using the feather power up, maybe in a little bit of struggle here right now. Boniface still trying to get away, but now fading. 7 watts per kilogram. Cartwright grabs right onto that wheel and still within the 5 meters, so definitely getting a draft. If you're unfamiliar with Zwift, what you're looking at right now is real efforts from real riders, real heart rates, real wattages here, and the draft is real for sure too, as Cartwright sits in at 2.8 watts per kilogram, looking to sit on Boniface's wheel. He knows what Boniface's tactic has been the last couple days. Boniface is gone from way out, actually. And Cartwright, though, I thought he was going to sit on the wheel and just wait, but no, he's going from way out now. He is taking a card from Boniface's deck here, and he's going forward himself from way out. We're going to try and just do a full-on wind-up sprint from way, way out. No 200-meter, everything you got. It's, what do I got for a full K? Cartwright trying to kick from there, at least maybe break Boniface from this point, not allowing him to have any energy to go as he enters into the underground tunnel. Actually, just going to come up here after this right-hand turn past the volcano pass. These boys just non-stop. It is a full-on brawl, fist fight from the get-go here. Oh my goodness, man. They are just slugfest, one after another. I have no prediction at this point. I don't know who's going to have anything left. Boniface at 182 beats per minute. Cartwright 174. Boniface throwing down the feather power, absolutely looking to go from this moment right here. He doesn't want to leave it the chance. Up and over the top of that little kick. Now in that 10 watts per kilogram, trying to go at 173 beats per minute will be Cartwright. 183 from Boniface. He doesn't have much more to work with, though. I know he maxes out right around that 189, 190, though. Still going there with 7.6 watts per kilogram. Cartwright just sitting in, getting the draft. He may have met his match today with Tim Cartwright. Boniface fades. Cartwright's got nothing maybe, though, too. He's at 180. They're just looking at each other. It's like the last moments of Rocky. Who is going to get up before the bell, because they got nothing left, and it will be Cartwright kicking 13 watts per kilogram to the line. Is he going to take it, though? Boniface on the wheel. Looks like it will be Tim Cartwright able to finally break Brett Boniface. 14 watts per kilogram to the line. It will be Cartwright for the win. Boniface, it's like just strolls across the line. Nothing left in the legs. I mean, they didn't even sprint to the line. It was just break them, try and break them, try and break them, try and break them, and finally got to the line before the other. Now we got it ramping up to the line for third place. We're seeing our piece here, it looks like, but no, now it's going to be Cunningham coming to the line. No, it's going to be Mollestad. Mollestad with the kick out of Norway. Arbor trying to answer. BRT as well. Who's it going to be to the line? BRT. I think it's BRT. BRT, I believe. Innovation just nudging out Moldestead as well for second and third, I think, in the sprint finish amongst the group. What an effort from the riders. Where's the instant replay? Dang it, Nathan didn't open it up. I have instant replay now, and I didn't open it up. Fail from Guerra there. Sorry, boys and girls. We'll get the instant replay on Tuesday, but what an effort there coming from all of the riders in that A category. Let's get in. Let's definitely check in with the women here as they make their way around through the Essies right now. We are seeing Wilkinson still off the front by about 237. She's going to take the win in the A category, no problem whatsoever. 240 right now. Coming around the corner here, going to have time to have her hands in the air there. Allison Kubota coming in. Amazing finish. Wow. Boniface is on fire from David Chris, but the fire has been quelled a little bit. Brett broken by KRT and ZTR and Kiss today. Woohoo, Tomo Kalen. A little bit of cheering there coming from the KRT team. Love to hear your questions or comments, or see your Zwift setups. Go ahead and bring them in through the social media integration. Lee Gosden saying great sprint over at Zwift's Facebook there. Great to have you here, Lee. Thanks a lot for tuning in. What an effort there from the riders there in the men's race. Now, Wilkinson now coming in for the women's race. Going to be taking the W in the A's right now. Now, looking back, though, it's going to be Kessels here trying to break off the other riders in the B and C category. Will be Lankarik here out of Sweden here, maybe chasing that down. 4.6 watts per kilogram coming from her from the PTZ team. Pete Mason here, 183 beats per minute, though. 179 here coming from Lankarik. Mason, they're 184 for the women there. Kessels, they're off the front. No heart rate monitor, though. We'll have to see if the race organizers let her slip through there with that one. And I'll get to those questions, Lee. I love your questions. Not sure I can answer them here, but you can. And I'll give you my personal opinion. That is will not be definitive. That's for sure on the pedal selection. We'll get that for you in just a minute here. Kessel's here with Masons as well as Lankarik, Bono. Cutie Cat here, unable to close the gap down, but holding solid here in second place amongst the C category women. But I believe she's actually sitting in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 place actually overall right now. Now Kessel's here at 4.1 watts per kilogram, still with that 2-second gap. Maybe mistakes were made at this point, boys and girls. 4.7 here coming from Mason, trying to chase that down. The cart now sitting in the wheel, but will she be able to hold the gap at this point? It is out to 5 meters, which means she does not have a draft now. Lankarik maybe getting dropped off by Mason. Nope, not going to happen. Right back on the wheel. Pulling back into the group here. Kessel's going to have to sprint, though, to the line for second place. Wilkinson already won on the day, but Kessel here, 3.9 watts per kilogram. And this is actually B category riders, I believe, so they are actually going for the W in their category, excuse me. So, because Wilkinson definitely over 4.0 watts per kilogram, going to be taking the W amongst them. But in the B category, it will be Kessel's here, 4.7 now, out of the Netherlands, able to kick one more time before the line, 4.7 watts per kilogram. Mason here, 184 now, trying to come across, though. Is she going to have the sprint out of these three? Who is it going to be? Kessel still with 3 seconds. Will they be able to close down the 3-second gap now at this point? 5.4 watts per kilogram for Mason, 6 watts per kilogram. Here comes the Aero power up, though, from Lankarik out of Sweden, though, the PTZ rider with the power up to the line, 6 watts per kilogram, just about. Mason now trying to come across, unable to do so, and it will be Lankarik, I believe. Actually, Mason 6.5, but no, unable to do so. The Aero power up just too strong. Mason, Bono, Taylor Bono out of the USA, looking for that 4th place across the line amongst the women in that category. Solid race from them today. Looking back here, I'm going to see if I can find some of the other riders coming through for the B category in just a moment. I do believe I did find the front end of the B category in the men's race right now. They're just making their way to the line. A huge group right now. Magnus now up toward the front, it looks like, from ODZ. ODZ looking to take the W, but it will be Innovation here creeping up to the line. But Magnus has the Aero power up, but out of nowhere, it's going to be Jehu with 13 watts per kilogram. ODZ for second, Innovation 3rd and 4th on the day. And so let's go ahead and take a look at the results over at ZwiftPower.com as they are just coming in here. As it starts to load up, we are seeing Cartwright with a 4-second gap to the line over Boniface. Actually, solid result there, 5.3, 5.2. Shorter race today, 38 minutes. Absolutely flying. Nathan B there from the BRT team. Nice job to him. Across the line in 3rd place, just barely nipping Arbor and Richardson for Innovation for that top 5 there, though. Nice job to them. Round out the top 10, Matthew Burton. It looks like Scarns, Moldestead, Scott Cunningham, Russell Peace, and then Peter Fawn from Steiner there in 10th place. In the B category, let's go ahead and take a look. It was Christopher J, who just barely nipping at the line that we just saw. John Upper there from Innovation. Actually, I just barely, I mean, that must have been a millisecond there to grab that from Magnus, who took 3rd place there, followed by Jason Armstrong, Bracken Christensen, and then it will be Stephen Briley there. For, I believe that is the top 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, actually 6, top 6 in that B category today. Solid racing from all the riders out there today as they're getting their cool down in, as you can see. Amazing, amazing effort from all of them today. Kona is happening. We've got a couple of awesome stories actually that we're going to play through here. We met Lionel Sanders. We'll play through that one next, but a new one that we did just see, meet Lucy Charles, who is a Zwifter who is at Kona that is going to be racing this weekend. So definitely check this out, boys and girls. And we'll be right back with everything else ZCL in just a moment.
A lot of people, I mean, even family and friends, ask me, why am I doing Ironman? Why am I not going for the Olympics? And being a distance athlete, and I enjoy big challenges of going to Kona and doing races like that, you can't beat it. What have we got next?
Intervals this afternoon.
One of my favourites. And I came here originally as a swimmer, so I hadn't ever even thought about doing triathlon, and a few of my friends were out here training for the Ironman. Then I did swear I would never do this Ironman because I thought it was too difficult, but after a few years it certainly got a piece of my heart. Last year was my first year as a pro, and I really wanted to set the world alight almost, but it kind of all went not to plan when I ended up with a stress fracture in March in my leg. Although I was allowed to bike, that had to be primarily on the turbo. Zwift was a real lifesaver then because it meant that I could do longer sessions and I could focus on my power and see that improve. The really, really good thing about Zwift is it has the race feature. If you are doing max intervals in your session, then there's nothing more motivating than being almost in a race environment. The goal was always to win an Ironman, and to come back and win it here in Lanzarote this year was been quite special as it was my first ever pro race.
We didn't have a clue what Kona was, and everyone was talking about Kona, and we was like, what's Kona? I didn't even know this island existed.
I've never raced there as a pro before. I've won as an age grouper there, but this will be a completely different race.
From there, we decided that we're going to try and target qualification for Kona this year.
I decided that I could potentially qualify, but it would mean probably going to a major championship race. So that's why I picked Ironman Frankfurt to do, as it was the European Championships. And luckily I managed to finish second, so I'd had time to spare, and I've been able to train more for Kona as well.
Her biggest weakness is almost knowing when to pull back. She's very driven, very strong-minded. As a mindset, as an open water swimmer, it's literally staring at a swimming pool tile for 100,000 metres a week.
I always said if I ever made the Olympics or if I ever did an Ironman, I would get either one of those tattoos. A lot of people, they come up to me and they say, I've never seen a pro with an Ironman tattoo, and I say, well, I didn't expect to be a pro at this. This is probably my favourite bit. Nice and easy. This year has completely surpassed my expectations. Kona is the next big goal. I'd like to go and finish definitely within the top 10, but I'd like to kind of jump and try and get on the podium if possible.
I guess the whole thing started in grade 3. Track and field. There's this kid who won all the events, Jay Hernandez, and I thought he was the coolest kid ever, and I wanted to be just like Jay Hernandez.
Today I've got, I'm going to do like 500 to 1,000 meter warm-up, 15 times 200 on 255. Nothing crazy, just a good little threshold.
In terms of how I got into triathlon, towards the end of high school, I mean, I started to get into partying and all that sort of stuff, and I went down that path progressively more and more and more, and then I started to get into harder drugs. You know, you have enough of those experiences add up, and you know, you want to make a change in your life. I certainly did anyway. I quit partying basically cold turkey then, and I started running again. I basically watched my whole life change before my eyes in 10 months.
You know, looking back on those days, they were very dark, that's for sure. Not as a parent, not having control over your child, and watching things like that get to a level that you know, are quite serious was very trying on the family.
I rode outside for the first 4 years of my career, and I got hit every single year. That's when I said, you know what, I think I'm going to try the indoor trainer. Just over a year ago now, a friend of mine said, hey, have you heard about the Zwift thing? Well, then I got onto it, and I was immediately hooked. I actually felt more like I was outside. I felt more inside of my body.
Well, it's noon now. Dew point is 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Exactly what Kona is right now. This is what we can expect.
And I'm riding around the volcano, and I'm like, this is what Kona is. It's a volcano.
Riding for 4 hours and 20 minutes.
Just as the mental game is beginning, well, you still have 4 hours of racing left. That's a long time to be in your mind. Every single workout that I do, I'm at various phases of the race. I know that I'll be coming down from Havi, and I'm visualizing all the main contenders, Jan Frodeno, Sebastian Kienle. Like, I can see it all in my mind. I know that course so well.
He's definitely the most dedicated and driven person that I've ever met. So to see him go from duathlete who can't swim to one of the best professional Ironmans in the world in a short amount of time is kind of unbelievable.
I mean, you have to believe you can win. And if you don't believe, that race is far too hard. And I can actually see myself winning that race.
He's a machine, I tell you. Mentally, just unbelievable. He's definitely ready for Kona. Good job. Oh God, so hot out. The old man knows how to get you, huh?
All right, let's jog home.
Amazing stories on the road to Kona from the men's and the women's side. A couple of Zwifters using Kona for the top level, or using Zwift for the top level at Kona. Also coming up, though, obviously, with the Zwift World for the community over in the UK. We were chatting about this earlier today, but if you want to stop in, I believe the Glasgow event is just tuning down, but you can jump in with them on the UK tour next week. Zwift Wahoo UK tour over in Bristol. Then they will be in Tunbridge Wells and then London Thursday, October 19th. So make sure to check those out. Check out the Zwift and Wahoo event. Bright, actually. We'll try and get some links for you out there, but it should be pretty easy to find the Eventbrite over at eventbrite.com, as it is Zwift events that are coming up. Next up on Zwift Community Live, we'll see you next week for the weekly windup on Monday. Unless we have a couple of surprise streams for you tomorrow on Friday. I do know there are a couple chomping at the bit to be featuring some cool things on ZCL. We'll try and get those in as soon as possible, but I think we're gone for the weekend, and then we will see you on Monday. Unless we get some live coolness coming in, maybe from Kona or some other places. But thanks everybody for tuning in. And if you haven't done so already, make sure to follow our Facebook page, Zwift Community Live's Facebook page. Follow our Twitch, Mixer, or YouTube, depending on wherever your favorite live streaming platform may be. It's the best way to get live push notifications to you as to when we go live with any of our events whatsoever on Zwift Community Live. Also, the interactions on Twitter and are a great place to be featured in the broadcast as well. If you want to feature something from the community, you want to highlight in the weekly windup, or want us to chat about something in ZCL, make sure to contact us. Let us know what you're up to, and we'll try and get you in to the broadcast. Let everybody know what's going on in the Zwift community and what awesomeness you're doing through the power of bicycles and fitness out on Zwift. All right, thanks everybody for tuning in. That's it for me, Nathan Guerra. We'll see you Monday for the weekly wind up.